Hey, thank you so much for being with us today. We're really happy to have Ryan here with us today. Welcome, Ryan. Thank you so much.
Hey, Jane. Happy to be here.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm very excited about doing this. It's been a while that we wanted to do this with you. I want to get started. Like, if you can tell us a little bit more about what is that you do, business that you run, and a little bit about your background and your experience in marketing.
Yeah. So I work for Vario Marketing. We're a digital marketing agency, and we specialize in SEO and content and AIO visibility. And I'm the operations manager here, and my background is SEO.
Awesome. Happy to hear that. How long have you been in SEO?
I have been in SEO for about 15 plus years.
Wow, that's a long time. So we really probably it would be ideal to get into those SEO tips down the conversation. I want to ask you a little bit more. It's what we hear every day. It's a challenge to get people that understand SEO and can have a very good idea of the changes are happening these days. So I remember 2 or 3 months ago, we got together and told me like, "Hey, I know it's a challenge. Tell me a little bit more about your search at that time. You wanted to keep growing your team. What was the main challenges you were having at that point?"
Yeah. So we're expanding as a company. I used to do the SEO, but when I moved into the operations role, we needed to fill that position. And I guess it was just a matter of us weighing the options of hiring somebody here in the States or utilizing a service like yours to find somebody in Latin America. And after talking to you, I felt very confident about the the personnel you can find down there and their experience. And then looking through the resumes that you were sending me, I was actually very excited because you were able to provide candidates with excellent experience and knowledge in the industry.
Awesome. That's good to hear. And did you ever did the like do the search on your own in terms of try to find applicants or try to get someone with the experience? Do you ever do it on your own or just like we got in the right timing?
I think you got it in the right time. You and I had actually spoken years ago, and I
Mhm.
don't think we were quite ready um, to do that yet. Then when we were, oddly enough, my CEO Jared mentioned you guys, and I was like, "Oh, I already talked to Angel." So it just shows that sometimes the timing might not be right. When it was, we were very happy and fortunate to utilize your services.
Awesome. And tell me a little bit more about the process. Once we send you candidates, what was your experience working with our team and maybe positive things about, let's say, the you save time? It was more likely speed. Where do you see yourself and your company in terms of benefits of working with us?
Yeah, it was very beneficial, I would say, and highly recommended to anyone looking to fill this sort of role, utilizing your services. And that because, well, I like the process. I like that you guys create a video interview. That's a great way of just getting to know the candidate right off the bat. And for me, it's important to hear their communication style, how well they can speak English, and just get a quick glimpse into their demeanor and how they handle themselves. I like that you have them take a personality test. I thought that was
Mhm.
very interesting. And I didn't expect that, but that was very beneficial just to see the strengths and weaknesses of these candidates from a personality standpoint in that role. And then, you guys do the standard like resume and all that. But I would say it was the video and then actually getting on the interview with them. So it saved us a lot of time. You guys were able to bring great candidates my way. And we found our candidate pretty quick, I think. I don't know how quickly it is for you guys, but that seemed pretty quick for us.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Let me ask you now a little bit more about that candidate that you hired through us. I think he's been working with you for a weeks now. What's the general experience working with that candidate?
He's just fit right in. He speaks excellent English, excellent communication skills. I wouldn't even know he lives in Latin America. As far as I'm concerned, he could be living up here. He speaks great English and he's exactly the role we were trying to fill. And that is somebody who has years of experience and is an excellent at in SEO and marketing. And so he's already fit right in. I feel like he immediately is just part of the team and he's a cultural fit and he's already adding a lot of, he's just coming to the table with a lot already.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. What will you tell to, let's say, yourself 3 months ago when you were thinking about working with us, and I guess you have some doubts and say like, okay, is it gonna work or not? And now you have experience working with us. What will you tell to someone that's just about to make it that decision?
Yeah, I would say I was just pleasantly surprised at um, our hires' ability to communicate in English, and not just verbally, but even written. Like there's no communication issues at all. And I think maybe one of the things I was concerned with was just how much expertise do they really have? And I was pleasantly surprised. Like we found a truly a specialist in that area, and that was exactly what we're looking for. I'd say, lastly, it's important for us not to just to find a candidate that we just tell them what to do, but they come to the table with experience and suggestions, and that's what we want. We want a team player that's like, hey, here's what I suggest. Here's what I'm seeing. He just kind of hit the ground running, and that's what we needed.
Awesome. Happy to hear that. And finally, because I'm like very, I wouldn't say surprised, but it's not like every day you get to talk to someone who's been in marketing for so long, right? I worked like 5 years in PPC, and then you probably work like three times that in SEO. So, and then you work with a remote team. So I want to, if you can tell me what are your top two tips for managing a remote team, and based on your experience over the years, if you can tell me like, okay, if you really want to grow your team, go and take it to the next level with a remote team. What are the two things that you always do in a remote team to make it successful?
That's a great question. I would say first and foremost, run morning huddles, mandatory morning huddles where your team all gather and you just go through a simple framework. And I suggest you use, what did I do yesterday? What am I doing today? And what are my roadblocks?
Mhm,
And let everybody just, it's kind of that stand up format, that kind of scrum ish
mhm,
format where everybody runs through that process and you don't carry on, you don't solve the problems, you just talk simply about what you did yesterday, what you're doing today, and any roadblocks. And then after the call, after everybody gets through that, you can let people go. And then people that do have roadblocks can stay on the
mhm,
line and then you can solve the problems there. And we call that parking lot. And so I think that's very helpful. Another tip along with that is turn your cameras on.
mhm,
We're in this remote age where we don't see each other and we're all isolated. And I think it's really important for camaraderie and culture and just for the team dynamic to be able to see each other. We're in this AI age now, especially everything's just digital and the human connection's going away. We all know
mhm.
social media is not social. It doesn't actually create a connection. It probably does the opposite. And so I think for team dynamics, it's so important to turn the camera on and just see each other and to build that camaraderie and that connection, the human connection. And then I would say second to that, with the morning huddles, I would say just accountability is so important, and
Mhm,
ownership. There just needs to be ownership, and we need to be able to hold each other accountable to what we're doing and
mhm,
own it when we're not. We're not making anyone wrong, and you just adjust and pivot. And I think it's really important as well to remind your team that it's not if you're going to fail, because we all fail because we are humans,
mhm.
but
Correct.
failure is our best teacher, not success. And
Mhm,
so to create a culture where it's like, you're going to fail, I expect it. And so it's what we do with that. It's what we learn from it and we fail
mhm.
forward. And I think when we give permission to our team to fail,
Try and
Zuckerberg
fail.
used to say, Zuckerberg used to tell the Facebook team, supposedly I heard that he would say, move quick and break things.
Mhm,
And, I don't want my team breaking a lot of things, but if they are producing and getting their hands on the problem and creating solutions and they break something, great, let's figure it out and let's learn from it.
yeah, that makes sense. It's like, okay, it doesn't matter, at least if you try and then you learn something, that's a win, because otherwise you wouldn't be, you're not learning if you're not trying new things every day. And then having
That's
that
right.
permission to say like, okay, I was trying to do this, I failed, but now I know. And probably they're better just by doing that than if they have never tried that before. Awesome. I really appreciate those tips. That's Great. I think that helps a lot now that, as you mentioned, and they're very practical. So really appreciate that. And it was a pleasure speaking with you. I'm very thankful for your time, Ryan. And yeah, so thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Angel. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.